Right, you've got one there, that's done. This is a big one, it's 2 parts, double walled basically with a fold back. So you've got to get to that fold back there, into which that section tucks into. So I'll be welding from there to there a small section, it's only about 3/4 of an inch, with that fold back. And then I've got a shaped section. There's not much of a shape to it, but there's a curve to it. Shaped section that tucks into that. So first the outside lip, and then this inside lip welded all the way around. Before I do that, I'll smear in some rust converter on the inside as well, just for the hell of it. I'm not sure why I do this, but anyway. And then, of course, the other one that we did yesterday is looking really good. It's all hidden. But I'm happy with that. Yeah, so that's the next one for tonight. It's already 6 o'clock because I've been doing all sorts of other stupid shit today. But the rest of this is actually strong, thankfully. The next one after this will be one on the outside again. I know this looks completely crooked, insane, crazy, whatever, but actually that double folded ridge there, I've put in for a little bit of strengthening. That's getting welded onto, shall I say it, the inside of the outer sill, no, the inner sill, and then this tucks in, this red section tucks in from the inside, from the floor down to that ridge which is on the sill. I'm not sure if it's going to make any sense, but I know it's going to work because I've just remade what's there in existence. I've just put an extra bit of bracing in so that when I weld I can probably get 2 welds on one on both sides, and a slight curve obviously which is there already. Right, that's part 1 done. Part 2 is preparing the surface up there. It'll be more interesting. Gas would be good. Ah, very good, very good, very good, very good. It's always the thing about getting started, getting them tacked in place. That's good. I'm happy. Wrapped up like a condom around the rifle's muzzle, trying to keep the rain out of it, but that didn't really work. It's been raining on and off, on and off, on and off, so I've kind of done that to try and keep that bottom sill dry so I can work on it when I get to it. I have managed to finish the whole of the passenger side. It's now been welded, ground back, fabricated, etc. You can see this is all new in there. There's patches, and there's also flat patches on the floor on the other side. I've done some more repairs to this side This side you can't see it, but I've actually gone in from the other side. And I've fabricated up a whole section here that's rounded, goes around the corner. It's actually double skinned, and then it's got drainage over here. Looks a bit shit at the minute, but trust me, you try and pull that apart, I guarantee you're not going to do that. That, I need to figure out what that feeds, whether it's just a drainage hole. I'm assuming it's a drainage hole, but it looks like there was a washer or something in there before, so I'm not sure what it's about, but I'll figure it out. And then once all that's done, it does look horrendously shit. I'll run the wire brush over this and then stick in some rust converter. After the rust converter, we'll go in with the seam sealer, and then eventually it'll get some under seal as well. But as much as I'd planned on doing it a lot more cutting and grinding and redoing this, I've realized it's actually strong enough. It's a shit job in as much as it's untidy as hell, but it's done to a MOT standard, whatever that means, and I just need to repair all this shit now and make sure that it works. Sitting on my arse here doing nothing on a Friday afternoon. It's about 4 o'clock and I'm about to go around to see if I can beat up the neighbor. Oh fuck, Mr. Jiu-Jitsu, who's cut down my hedge. Look at this. Lucas, what have you done to my hedge, mate? Look at this. Shit. No, this is an agreement. Luke's putting an entertainment area down the bottom here. I have no use for this hedge. He certainly doesn't. But between the two of us, we'll have about an 8 foot, just over 2 meter, I guess, section once it's roofed up that we can put timber and storage in. So what I'm going to do right now is put this camera down, stop playing. I'll come back tomorrow to the metal work and then carry on. But I'm pretty pleased this is done, this side. I don't think there's any welding left on that. Obviously the inner arches will still need to be done, but I'm waiting to hear whether I can buy some inner arch sections from someone. But he's gone quiet for 10 days, so who knows. Anyway, enough talking, time to go and help Luke. So you can see what I can see. A lot of rust, but none of it's insurmountable. So the first thing I tend to do is I take my Sharpie and I do a very rough mark out of where I want to cut. So you'll see there's a section of this saw which is good, only about 5 inches. What's that? Not even 150 mil is okay on all sides. But there's a hole over there, and you can be guaranteed 20, 30 mil around it will be bad. If you see that, you go well beyond. Same there. You cut up above. In my case, I'll be cutting probably up to about here, which seems a bit mad, but in order to keep a straight line, all of this comes out, that whole section. So you've got to do a fold back, up 90 degrees, and then a curve, and you run all the way down here, because this is probably the worst bit of it. Guaranteed you've got to go beyond that, so I'm probably going to go up to about there. which for some people may still not be enough. And actually then when you come back here you realize it needs to go out even further, but I'll measure that in a minute. Up here, if you look carefully, you'll see there's a hole through there. Bunch of holes all the way down. The inner sill, weirdly, is strong all the way down here. That's solid. I've been in there already. That's rock solid. So it's this outer sill that I need to take off all the way down to there. There's a return as well, so I'll be folding a return around the corner there and then welding that into that front panel. So I'll get a ruler in a minute into a straight line. I shouldn't be marking it like this because then it confuses me when I start cutting with the grinder. This is just to give you an idea. So that is the section that's got to come out, and they've been made with fresh metal. Then I've got this 100mm section that's good, as you can see, good on both sides. And you have another one, sill and the lip, sill and the lip, all the way down to there. So that's another section, same thing as on the other one, just on the outside. Nothing wrong on the inside, weirdly. And up here, the outside looks slightly damaged. There's more damage there. But on the inside, I can't remember where exactly, there is damage. So that I'll be doing from both sides. We'll get to that later on, once I've dealt with this big patch. But it's good. So the first thing will be to cut it out, measure what I need, copy that piece of metal, but I'll try and copy it beforehand, because once you've wangled and mangled this thing out, getting past the spot welds and everything, it just ends up as a destroyed chunk of nothing. So yeah, wish me luck. Here we go for the next cut and weld and grind and make up and whatever else. Much fun. But it's the only way to fix it. Just do it properly. So, we've cut out a big lump. It's about 470mm by 90mm, which then has to be folded into those profiles. Still got some cleaning to do. And then also a couple of spot welds, holes to be punched in. Unfortunately, I don't have Nick's special tool that punches holes for spot welding, but what I'll do is I'll just drill a bunch of holes so I can get through there. Kind of cleaned up. I just need to straighten this out again, bring a hammer and a dolly, because that's from me forcing it and using the screwdriver to pull all the old rusty stuff off. But that's the first patch. I'm now going to use a bit of cardboard to see if I can make it up and figure it out. Right, rain stopped play again. The guys next door are carrying on because they've got a roof over their head. It's all closed in now. Like that. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I've brought all the tools indoors because I don't particularly fancy getting electrocuted. That's my sheet of repair steel. I've marked out the patch. Basically, the broad section is obviously the curved section of the outer sill. Then you've got the step, and then the red section. That red section is the bit that folds over underneath the inner sill, and then that gets spot welded in places as well. Actually, I'm talking shit. The step gets welded in. I've brought in some lengths of, not just those short lengths, but some lengths of longer angle iron, which I'll be using to fold all of this up. Hopefully that'll work and be fairly tidy. What I'll do is I'll clamp it with the vise in the center with the sheet in position, and then I'll use a pair of G-clamps at the ends so that these don't pop out or fold out or move. So then you get a really crisp edge. Fingers crossed. Once again, there's a lot of finger crossing in this job. Let's go for it. Another day, another dollar, many dollars spent. So, just come back from a 140-mile return trip. And it seems that I have joined those mad people who run stretched tires. I'm not a fan, but as purchased with stretch. So, these are 9J wide, that's quite wide. The wind is blowing, there's cars racing by. These are 9J wide, and they've got 195 tires on. So, as you can see, it's a pretty decent tread. 2 will be replaced, but they're good enough, I think, for MOT standard. And yeah, you say, what are they? I'll just confess and say they are really dirty. You figure it out. I'm sure you will have by now. But we are about to unload. My laborer, Pedro from España, has come to help. Pedro from Spain. Hang on, Pedro, let's take it. Here you go, Spanish flag. That's because there's a hole in the jacket. And now we are unloading. Thanks, Pedro. What are they? BBSs. Ooh. 1 garage, 3 kitchen. Because we're going to take a picture quickly for Paul Y. So yeah, there we go. All the madness. All the madness. You can see they need a shitload of work. Polishing, cleaning, clearing, etc. I think the snails had a good time, but you can see they have potential. And I like polishing turds, and I like things that have potential. They also don't have center caps, so if somebody's got some free of charge center caps, by all means, put them in the post, send them to me, they'll go on. These are 16-inch, and they're going on the Cube, if you haven't figured this one out. Wide, 9J. The Cube came out with 6J, even 5.5J. But we'll figure it out. Apparently there's no scientific proof that these can't be fitted. So yeah, rock and roll time. Weathers says we might even be welding today. More patches and more patches. Right, this bottom section here just needs a bit of straightening out. 200 mil. I need 200 mil, 200 mil for a 200 mil patch on both sides, inner sill and outer sill. Next thing, job up, measure up, cut, fold. Using the right tool for the right job. That's a fairly worn flat disc. First thing is take all the cutting edges off and put the power on. Just like that, you got blood over your job. How did I do that? By trying to catch a flying object which has sharp edges. Not always clever. Hey, that's how we job here. I'll use some masking tape if it gets to be a problem. I can undo these now. Now these are ready to be folded and bent into shape to go into the two different jobs they need to do. One's outer sill. It's got that profile, same profile we used yesterday. So it's that profile, comes in and then folds around the inner sill. So the inner sill comes in from underneath the vehicle there. That's a straight edge that curves out that way. And then this is the outer sill, whichever way you want to look at it. And that little rebate, I think that's the right word for it. So quickly copy those and then I'll be ready to weld those pieces in. The grinding, if you didn't realize, it's just cleaning the edges on both sides so there's contact and also space to weld for the weld to take cleanly. Right, let's see if we can explain this. We've got two pieces. They look like that in shape. And that is the outer sill. It hangs basically, let me think, got to think about it this way. So if that's the street, it's tucked in underneath, then the inner sill, which is this with a slightly different curve, comes down and forms a little gully. That then tucks in there. I still have to do a couple of welds between the two of them and also put a little recess here, maybe two, but probably one, as a rain drain between these two sections, because obviously there's a trap once they've been put together. When you jack up your car, this is what you see. So this ridge that we've created out of the two pieces of metal is what tucks into potentially your jack. So that's a reasonable amount of strength. There's also another sill plate in between here somewhere that at this point I'm not sure how damaged it is. It's probably damaged. I'll replace that as well. But that's what you got. Bits and pieces that fit together. They're an absolute ball ache to try and figure and get right so that the curve is right and they all come together. Because what I like is when I'm finished with this and I use seam sealer just on the welds, on the spots that you can't see that it's been welded or bent in, that's kind of ideal so that it looks original. And I've done that before. When I did the Nissan Micro, you couldn't see when I was done. where the welds and the plates were welded in. This one will be the same. So yeah, 2 little pieces, 200 mil each, whatever that is, 7 inches. Next stop, go and trial fit them just without cutting anything out, then cut out and see if they still fit. Of course, there's a lot of time and swearing that could happen in between that and then and now.